Hello, freaks, geeks, nerds, and degenerates, and weird folk online. Welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And this is going to be a rant about the North, Scandinavia and Finland, Iceland, the Nordics, being under attack from the east, from the west, at sea, verbally, military threats all around, and we need to stand firm as brothers against all foreign threats. And yeah, Sweden, Finland, the North, the Nordics in general, we are under attack. It's no other way you can view it. Finland grabbed the vessel here in the Bay of Finland that had committed sabotage on the ocean floor cables. We've had sabotage against Swedish railways, and vital for the mining industry up in the north. Communication masts in Finland have been targeted. Russia has made weird decisions in and around Svalbard. There has been attacks against Norwegian ocean floor installations, sensors and what have you that could track Russian that as they're really installed to keep track of the ocean floor and ocean life and stuff like that, but they can also track Russian I just hit my microphone, Russian submarines. So they have been damaged and what have you, north of Norway, and of late, of course, we have the Bulgarian vessel that destroyed ocean floor cables outside of the island of Gotland. And then when it came down here, south of Sweden, Sweden managed to board the vessel and confiscate it for investigation. Now, apparently, Sweden went out with army helicopters and deployed the anti-terrorist unit onto the vessel. And rumors has it that they then forced the vessel to steer into Swedish waters where the Coast Guard could board it and take control. Essentially privateering, piracy, but government sanctioned, so thereby privateering. They went out into international waters, apparently, and boarded the vessel, took control of it, and forced it into Swedish territorial waters where the Coast Guard took control of it. So, hey, I'm all for it. We need to secure our interests. So, if they're in the Baltic Sea, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, we should, make everyone know that if you act around in this part of the world, we will make sure that we are in control of the situation and you will not get away with it. So commandeering vessels out at sea and forcing them into our harbors, absolutely. Enough of this bullshit. And I mean, on top of all of that, you have my maps down in Ukraine, Greenland, right? The Americans, or Trump, I should say, calling Denmark, making outlandish threats concerning Greenland. The North is under attack from all over, from the east in Russia and from the west in the United States. And we need to stand together. Denmark has been talking to Europe. France, predominantly France, has made it clear that they are prepared to support Denmark. And we in the north, we should be ready to do so as well. When it comes down to it, we can't trust anyone else except ourselves. We thought we could trust Russia. That's not the case. We thought we could trust the United States. That's not the case. We think we can trust Germany and France and Great Britain. When will they in the future betray our trust as well? In the end, we need to look out for ourselves first and foremost. We should, of course, be part of the EU. We should have international cooperation and trade and all of that. But we must make sure that we are never alone. We had the United States as an ally. They have now become an enemy of the Nordic interests. And we are now relying on the EU, but who knows when the EU will fail us as well. So we really need a Kalmar Union 2.0 as a last line of defense to securing Nordic interests, together with Iceland, obviously. And make sure that we have defense assurances between our countries. Should NATO fall apart, should the EU fall apart, we in the North need to stand together as one and make sure that we can rely on each other when the shit hits the fan. And not just militarily, but, ensuring trade and what have you. And Christ's sake, Swedish military industry combined with Norwegian oil, you bring in some Finnish sisu and Danish beer. Who could stop us? And add some, Icelandic, Old Norse language stuff. I mean, that's just the dot above the I, as we say in Sweden. I mean, yeah. And the Faroe, well, I guess they can. The Faroe Islands can join in as well. But we need to stay together because we are under threat from every goddamn corner. That's just the way it is. Russia and Moscow, it's a clear threat to our interests. And with the way the United States is behaving towards Denmark, we need to support Denmark, just as we would support Finland if Russia threatened Finland. Now we have a superpower threatening Denmark. We, as Nordics, need to stay together. We should stay together, and we should ensure that we guarantee each other's safety, each other's liberties and freedoms. We can't back down. If Trump decides to do something silly concerning Greenland, this should not be handled by France or Germany or Great Britain. This should be handled by the Nordics. And if troops have to be deployed to Greenland, it should be Nordic troops with French support, with German support, Polish. Absolutely. It's a European problem. The Greenland is attached to the European nation via Denmark. Or the European Union. Absolutely. But the Nordics should not let France bear the brunt of this. This is a Nordic concern, and we should stand together with Denmark as brothers. There's no other way to handle this. We have come to a point where we must treat Putin or treat Trump just the way we treat Putin. If you mess around, we will put our foot down and show you what's what. That's just the situation as it is at the moment. We need to secure the Baltic Sea, like Finland and Sweden is doing, commandeering ships, privateering at the high sea, on the high seas. And when push comes to shove, if it comes from push to shove over Greenland, we cannot back down. We have to stand firm with Denmark and support Denmark in whatever way Denmark needs in these extremely dangerous and trying times. And to finish off, I would like to share the standing order to all Swedish citizens and Swedish soldiers should war or crisis happen, especially if war happens. And this is a standing order, and it is still in effect to this day, as we have been reminded since the order has been repeated in pamphlets and booklets only a few weeks ago. And the order is simple. Sweden wants to defend itself. Sweden can defend itself and shall defend itself. Resistance should happen continuously and at every turn. It depends on you, your commitment, your resolve, your will to survive. We will never give up. Every message that resistance shall end is false. Doesn't matter who claims it. The king, the prime minister, the commander-in-chief, the supreme commander of the armed forces. Any message that resistance shall end is false. And I would like to share this with my fellow Nordics, the Finns, the Norwegians, the Danes, Icelandics, whoever. This applies to us all. Never give up, and resistance shall never cease. The threat may come from the east, the threat may come from the west, but we stand united as one. Brothers, Nordics. These are weird times. I mean, it's just the United States is threatening Denmark over territorial claims. How insane is that? Meanwhile, the Baltic Sea is under attack with communication cables, internet communications being cut and disrupted. And Sweden and Finland has to commandeer civilian vessels that are actively attacking Nordic interests in the Baltic Sea. Dangerous times, and we need to be aware of it. Now, is this the start of World War III? Who knows? But if we don't do anything, if we allow Russia and the United States to push us around, where will that end? Why would they stop pushing us around unless we put our foot down and tell all enemies around the world, this is our home, this is our land, and if you fuck around with us, we will pick up the axe once more, and we will fucking raid and plunder until you back the fuck away. Well, that's it. There is only one way to walk if the shit hits the fan, and only one path to follow. Till Valhall.